Hello Taurus, and welcome to your April reading here on the Astroflower. Happy birthday to all you Tauruses having your birthday in the April start of Taurus season. There will be a special birthday reading coming out as we get close to the Taurus. So keep an eye out for that. I hope you're doing well. Did you see the collective? Massive, well not massive, but a real realization of a spiritual awakening here, I think, more than anything else. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. I'm sure it will reflect a lot within this individual reading. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Here we go. We've got the overall energies here. We've got the karmic messages for your relationship side, karmic message for your financial or your material side, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. But we also look at it in a way of influence from the universe, influence from our past self, influence from our future self, and the general sort of outcome. I'm going to sneeze, so beware. Ooh. So, yeah, now the sneeze is out the way, we can get on with the reading. Let's just see what's going on for you. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I think it's more on your relationship side than it is on your financial side, but I do believe there is decisions on both sides. The twos are all about choices. So it's binary, you know, 2 of cups, 2 of pentacles, 2 of wands, planning, deciding where you're going and stuff like that. This is also making a decision. But this is making a decision about taking a particular path rather than another. And it's a very mental sort of decision. So you're umming and ahhing over things. For all of you who have been with the Astroflower for some time, you will start to know that in the last month before your birthday, which is March and April, you know, for the majority of you, in fact, you know, it's always going to come April, is about sort of looking back over the past year emotionally, seeing what worked, what didn't work, what you want to continue, what you don't want to continue, what you want to start new and everything like that. Same thing on your financial side. That should have really been sort of cemented in during February and March. But it will still come back up to the surface and give you clarity about where you're supposed to be going at the moment. So there's decisions that need to be made. On your karmic path, I think there's something that you need to confront here. It could well be that some of you are separating, that the relationship doesn't work. You know, if that is the case, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, but at the same time, one door closes, another door opens. And, you know, I think we've all been through it, myself included. You know, life can be quite emotionally straining sometimes. But I think this is a good thing. I think you're clearing out a lot of things, and I think you're making that decision with that overall energy there. And it depends on the sort of relationship or the emotional engagement that you have, depending on how it's going to affect you, really. And for some of you, it may be just a kind of like, it may be a short-lived sort of thing, and it may not necessarily be your partner. It could be your family, community, friends, something like that. There just seems to be that you need to make a choice here, and it's a difficult choice, it seems to be. It's causing you stress and strain, but you've got to confront it. If you don't confront it, I think you're going to be in a worse place. So I think it's good for you to, yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm not advocating splitting up and stuff like that, but sometimes it is better for everybody, including the 2 people involved in it. And, you know, yeah, and my heart goes out to you, really does, really does. But there is a decision that needs to be made here. In the first week, I think this decision is coming out of the idea that you're realizing what works for you, and the benefits of making this decision are starting to really outweigh the other, you know, the other side of the coin, as it were. I think you're seeing in the first week, and I think the universe is also encouraging you to do this, that once you start making that decision and you step forward into your life, actually, there's a lot of good stuff on your pathway to come forth. But it's only waiting for you to make that decision, basically. The 7 of Cups. This is the second week. I think this ties in with that. and also the decision, obviously, the overall energies. Yeah. There is only one cup here giving you the good stuff. And I think in the second week here, I always say it's the card of the evident path for the heart. The Seven of Wands is the evident path for the material world, you know, in the way in which you put your passions into life in the material world, in the physical world. Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles is all about nurturing, you know, the evident path for your physical life. And the Seven of Swords is all about being smart, you know, realizing something, the evident path that you need to take, and that's the smart aspect of it. I went off on a tangent. I do apologize all about the seventh revelation. I think in the second week here, you're really starting to get into, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore your destiny, because that's what I feel that it is. It's part of that. You can't ignore your destiny here. And as I say, it could be just with a friend. It could be just with a family member. In the third week, it's stepping into the unknown, I think, here. This is a Scorpio card, and we do have the lunar eclipse in April as well. I think it's the lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse. You'll see it as well. We've got it on the members page, where we have an eclipse readings on the members page. If you want to be part of that, get down to the members, and you can see that on our members page, along with the equinox readings and the solstice readings and so forth. And this ties into that moon energy. It ties into seeing things that you wouldn't normally see when there's a full moon. So when there's a full moon, you see a lot more. And this moon is eclipsing the sun. So it's eclipsing your happiness in a way. It's making you delve deep. And this is where we're stepping into your birthday season. It's almost as if you're stepping into the unknown in a way. Because, you know, you might have an idea of how your future is going to play out, but you don't know until you start putting one foot in front of the other and start walking down that pathway. And, you know, if I was to tell you it's going to be easy all the time, I would be lying to you. The only reason we find moments of joy and happiness and all of that is because we do, as individuals, go through trials and tribulations, as, you know, collectively through relationships, through your physical world. And I think this is bringing a lot of stuff to the surface, kind of going, wow, where do I go from here? You know, sort of thing. Or, wow, there's so many things that I haven't looked at before. Now I can really look at. And I think this is, yeah, the general outcome, once you get into the flow at the end of April, here is where you're really starting to get into sync with your powerful side, your really good, reliable side, your good, you know, the side that's got a lot of qualities within you. And I think people are starting to recognize that, because you had to make a very difficult decision. But this decision here, I think, is going to set you free. I think we will see that in the clarification with the Light Seers cards at the end. But it's gonna draw people to you that respect you, that you respect them, and it will, you know, get rid of all the people that you find disingenuous around you. And it will also, you know, stop you from having to be disingenuous, because you've got those people around you that you don't particularly want maybe around you. So you have to be nice, and you're not really being you. You know, that sounds really horrible. You know, there's some people, you know, I think everybody's nice, really, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get on with everybody, that they're going to be my bestest buddies. And it's the same for you, same for everybody. There's some people you get on enormously better with other people than there's certain other people, you know, and that's just the way it is. And I think this respect and quality that is within you, you're converting that to that. And that is absolutely beautiful. Really, really beautiful way of being. Okay, let's go to your financial side. Queen of Swords. We saw this in the collective on the exact same position here. That decision could be on your relationship side, ties into this spiritual awakening that we saw in the collective reading. Here is, you are choosing to take a path here. And I think this path is also, and I'm going to say it because of the monthly reading as well, but I think it's in accordance with the decisions that you're making as well on your emotional side of life. It's the Queen of Swords. She's following a path where she has control over her emotions, because in logical decision making, and that's what that is all about. Logical decision making. You don't want emotions, because the last thing you want to put inside your head is emotions. You can't. It's impossible to do. If you want to know about that, go and see Cymatic TV, our sister channel, which is all about energy. You'll find it in the description below. Do not put emotions. That's not where they belong. They belong in your body. So live them in your body and allow them to come up to the logic naturally, and then you can make the most logical decision going forward. And this is what it seems like for you here, taking out the emotions where you can logically create or decide to follow a path for a job, business and project which really corresponds to you. Yes, you're still distilling things. As I said in the beginning about the last 3 months before your birthday, it's equivalent of your autumn periods. Yeah, it has nothing to do with north and south hemispheres and the nature's autumn, or fall, I think you call it in America. It's all about your birthday. Your birthday is equivalent of your winter solstice. It's the beginning of your new year. And this is where you're distilling a lot of things that you've been doing in the past, and you're putting it into this one cup. I think you're going after, with that Queen of Swords and those Four of Cups, in the first week, you're distilling things of how to really go after your heart's desires in regards to job, business and projects, and things like that. In the second week, you get the Five of Wands. I think there is a certain, I think it ties into here as well, at this Two of Swords. It's a decision here that's making this come true, a direction that you're taking. You're distilling it, getting all the information in the first week, and then in the second week, that decision is now coming to the surface. And I feel like you've got to defend it in a way. I think it's because it's within your righteous path and what you should be doing. I think you have to defend that position in a way against other people that may be either trying to take that job promotion or that job. You know, you've got to battle with other people. You know, I don't necessarily mean physically fighting here or even verbally fighting with someone. It's just defending your position. But there is a caveat to this, and that is, do not forget that heart's desire, which sometimes we can do once we get involved in the tussle for getting success out of life. Sometimes we forget about that heart sort of side, and I think it's important that you don't forget about that heart side of life. You be the best example of yourself. That is the main thing here, because destiny has got, you know, you are creating and carving out your own destiny as you go forward, and as you create and carve it, it's gonna evolve. It's like the Indians of North America, the totem pole. So they find a tree that's fallen, or they chop a tree down at the beginning part of their youth, and then throughout their life they sculpt their experiences on that tree, and then they stand it up like a gravestone, and it shows all their experiences that they've experienced with nature, with energy, with the vibrations, with destiny, and it's, you're creating your totem pole here. So don't forget about the best version of you in all of this as well. Your general outcome, not general outcome, in the third week, you got the Fool. Yeah, I think this is the decision that's making, which is your birthday coming up as well. This is a leap of faith. I think this is where you're really starting to make that decision and take that direction that you need to take. And I think it's a lot easier on your financial side than it is on your relationship side. But this Fool card here, it is a leap of faith, but I think you know where you're going with it. And it makes you feel a lot more secure about taking that leap of faith. Love is in the air. Love in life. I think this is what it is. This is where you do get your ultimate heart's desires in regards to your job, your business and your projects. Either you're offering your services to someone and it's being accepted, or someone is asking for your services. Whichever way it is, it actually ties in beautifully to what you feel is right for you, what you feel is right in the world that is around you, and makes you feel at one with your heart, with your emotions of where you're going. Cool. It's a beautiful pre-birthday season reading here for you, Taurus. I'm looking forward to your birthday reading actually, which will be probably coming out around about the 19th of April. So yeah, let's just see what's going on with the clarification here. You know, with the sun kicking off, getting a lot more energies, which you'll be able to see on Somatic TV. This is this new beginning, which we saw in the collective reading, the start of something completely new. Alors, so I nearly broke into French then. Je peux faire en français si tu veux. Okay. I think the decision comes out in the second and third week. Second and third week. It's that sort of period there that the decision is finalized here. And I think there is a degree where you need to wait around. And it may feel like that it's a little bit frustrating, a little bit, it's being like forced procrastination, but you do need to make this decision. So there's obviously, you need time in order to put things in place in order to make that decision clearly. So there is a certain degree of forced sort of procrastination. But within that, this is it. Like, she's got those waters behind her, and she's looking out to the waters. She's looking to the future. This is basically a crossroads here, which you're deciding about. But while she's looking to the future, and this is what you should be doing as well, is just noticing the energies that are around you and noticing the waves of energies that are coming in, because they come through in waves. And they come through in what we call sets. So there's usually 7 waves in a set of waves. So they build up in size, and then you get the 7th wave, which is the biggest one, you know, atypical. And so you can notice these waves, and that's going to help you when you make the decision and make the choice to do and follow a certain path. Then you're going to know when the wave is coming through for you. Therefore, it's going to help you enormously. So this procrastination is a very good time to assess things and put things into place, or notice the rhythms of life that is around you. And it will really help you. No time is lost here, although you may feel slightly frustrated at times by the slow movement of it all. I think this decision, yes, it's could well be sort of painful, maybe not just for you, but for other people that are around you, and they have to make painful decisions at the same time you do. But whatever it is, this is a clarification card, and this is what I think it comes out in the moon, and certainly on the 3 of Pentacles. I think you're now, there will be a point where that initial pain of the decision gives way to, okay, I've still got this passion for life in me. What am I going to do with it? How can I play with it? How can I explore it? And I think this is where you're exploring it in the people that are around you. And this is where, as I said, I think you're going to get in a position where people are going to recognize the good qualities of you, and you're going to recognize the good qualities of people that are around you. And that's going to take playing with your passions a little bit. So don't forget that side. The 3, we've now got 3 threes on this side. We've got the 3 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles. Now we've got the 3 of Cups. I think, as I said, here in the first week, I think you're starting to realize that actually there's a lot of beautiful possibilities on the other side of that decision. Once that decision is made and you can go through from it, there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of abundance waiting for you along the pathway. And there's a lot of communication as well with other people that you may not have communicated with before. And there's a very social aspect to it, connecting with people in a very celebratory sort of way. Celebrating spring is here, and connecting with people that you may not have really connected with before, opening new doorways of friendships. Yeah. And then in the second week, although this is a fire sign card, because you've got earth at your top and air at your bottom, fire at your bottom, sorry, not your, at the bottom of your Astroflower, people. Gee whiz, because you've got that fire, you've got a touch of the King of Wands about you. And this is where the determination comes in. This is where the courage comes in to make that decision, to head down on your pathway, to own it. And following that evident path is going to be important for you emotionally, relationship side. side of life. Once you do, recognize what needs to actually happen emotionally, and what path you need to follow, then you'll start owning it, and you will really start following it with some great success. I don't usually sort of say other signs that are coming into your life, because life is a little bit more complicated than that. But it could well be another Taurus, or maybe a Scorpio that's coming into your life. Something new that's coming in here, with that decision. Yeah, that's what the moon is doing. As I say, you've made that decision, and it's like kind of like, wow, there's all this new stuff. It's bringing to the surface a lot of emotions and situations that you haven't really dealt with in the past, because you haven't been in that situation. That's as simple as that. And I think this is where those 3 cups there are spent. But don't worry, they are being replaced by that. And I think here is, in the first week, you're recognizing it rather than actually living it. And now, in the 3rd week here, it's sort of kind of saying, okay, all of this is new. This is bringing a lot of new stuff to the surface. And yes, some of it could be quite painful. But once you engage your passions and that King of Wands, and start heading off down that pathway, the 5 of Cups there is sort of saying, don't look to the past now, look to the future. Your birthday season is here. Your new year is here. Start your new year and head into it. And then you get the 5 of Swords. Your quality here, and which people will recognize in you, around you, and 5's a transitionary, magical sort of thing. It's that transition of from chrysalis to butterfly, from caterpillar to butterfly, as it were. And I think you're going through that whole process at the moment. And with the 5 of Swords, you're now starting to realize that there's certain relationships that were caught up in the past, that were caught up about this decision that you're making, that really, that were just dragging you down and weren't bringing you, not celebrating the best of you, and you're not celebrating the best of them. It's very superficial, maybe one-upmanship sort of scenario. And yeah, if I was you, I'd walk away from that. You're walking towards that, and a lot of passions in your life. But there is, if I want to go out of my house and I've parked my car directly in front of my front door and I can't get out of my house because the car is there, at some point I've got to make that decision to go out the back, go around the house, and then move the car if I want to go out the front door. And I've got to follow my path. That car has got to be moved out the way. That decision needs to be made. That's probably one of my best analogies of the situation. But you know what I mean? In order to progress, you get out the bath and the bath water's still in there. In order to clean the bath, you've got to pull the plug. There you go. That's a bit better. So then you can clean it all out, and it's all ready for a whole new year for you. So, and I think you're doing that. It could well be a Libran that you're coming into business with, because that's a Libran card and that's a Libran card. This is good justice. Now, justice is done when emotions are not applied to the situation. Justice is done when, when something is common sense right. It's just correct. It's just natural. And that's what justice is all about. It reinstalls harmony in your life. And they're both Libran cards here. And we saw that in the collective reading as well. So you could be feeding off of the environment that is around you, which everybody does, in order to progress your career path, your business, or your projects, or whatever you so wish to do in your life. It seems to be bringing harmony back into your life. Yeah. Decisions. And this is where you're distilling those 3 cups there into that 1 cup there, which we find at the top of the dial, top of the flower, is out of a decision. And as I say, it's a decision that maybe you're going to have to wait around for the results to come back to you, as it were. But I do believe you're getting good results from it. And that's what that 2 of Swords, you are choosing to take a direction, because that's what the 2 of Swords is choosing. It's particularly choosing a direction. It's not just following a direction blindly. You're taking the responsibility, the honor of choosing your own direction, creating your own direction, which is absolutely beautiful. Defending your pathway. Yeah, there is a bit of that, but it's seeing things differently. As I was saying, don't forget about the heart or the cup. That's all about it. And I think what you're seeing here is there's more than one way to. We've actually got 3 5s. I've just realized we've got 3 5s on the table as well. With all the 3s, with all the thing, we've actually got 3 5s on the table as well. Yeah, sorry, getting back to it. I think, you know, once you realize that heart sort of thing, and I think there's more than one way to you know, defend a situation. I think you're learning that in the second week. I think it's before you actually apply yourself, actually go ahead and seize the moment. You're really starting to see things differently of how you can create this business, or how you can take your business to the next level, or how you can, you know, how, you know, what job you're really going for, applying for that job, setting yourself up, as it were, taking that decision, but looking at it in a different way, looking at it completely differently. Obviously, I'm not going to read all of those cards because there's way too many. There is the Ace of Swords at the bottom. So obviously that's tied into the new opportunity with the Ace of Cups there. So this leap of faith, I think, literally does just open up the entire deck. Get the Seven of Wands, came out in the collective reading, actually. And it was a very good position for the collective reading. And you seem to have it here. And as I said, I think the decisions that you're making is tied into the collective reading as well. This leap of faith here is built upon your confidence that you know who you are. You know what works for you. You know what feels good. Yes, there is one trying to burst your bubble. That is what that has been all about. And this person here, she's not showing them any mind. She's concentrating on her central point, on her point of reference, her cup, that Ace of Cups that she's going for. If you concentrate on that and be very serene about where you go and how you go forth, you're going to get the results, Taurus. You're really going to get the results. Look at this. Look at this. It is. Do not forget about that Ace of Cups. Do not forget about that Ace of Cups. As you're going through this month, don't forget about that Ace of Cups, that heart's desire of what you want in life. It is so good for you. This is for you, Taurus. This is for you. And it's gonna, there's a whole absolutely amazing, it's like you're winning the lottery sort of scenario here. It's so beautiful. If you allow yourself, you know, be honest with yourself. Say, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm going after that. You know, oh, you're going after that as well. Well, I'm going to have that. You know, it's naturally that I'm destined to have that. It's that sort of attitude. Why? Because it feels so right, not only within me as a physical person, but also within my heart's desires. And I think that's what you've got to go after. Don't forget about your heart's desires. Really important. There you go, Taurus. Thank you very much for being with us. Really do appreciate your support. There's also stuff on our sister channel, Somatic TV. There will be the stuff on the members section as well. That will be all starting next week, I think. We're just putting it all together. Yes, and yeah, thank you very much for being here. Really do appreciate all the support. Hope you get the best out of these readings. I'll see you soon. In the meantime, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.